Hi everyone, welcome back to River and Rune. Thank you guys for joining me on the channel today. It's been a long time. I've taken a lot of time for myself this past month, and especially I wanted to give more voice and more space and not put up all the rune stuff, especially during this very incredible, sometimes painful time of expressing all the grievances, the pains, the suffering that our relations in the Black and Indigenous and people of color communities have been experiencing. And I'm excited and happy to see Black Lives Matter movement taking as much of a hold on America as it needs to. And I hope that it continues. I hope that we all have the strength to continue on, to continue forward, to express and to really actualize racial justice in America and across the world. So I give thanks and honor to the people who are on the front lines, who continue to protest, who are continuing to put themselves in the situations that they need to be present for this very powerful transformation in the world. So I want to thank you all. Thank you guys. And more blessings, many blessings. So to get started and to get back into the runes, this month I'm coming in at the tail end of the month of Oak. And Oak is a very powerful tree. It stands tall, it stands firm. It has a lot of history connecting to strength, endurance, durability. Also has a propensity to be struck by lightning, so a lot of great, powerful, effective change that happens very quickly. Usually happens in the month of Oak, which makes sense given all the stuff that is going on with Black Lives Matter, with all the transformations that are happening in the world. And I'm very excited to see that, like I had said earlier. And also, I give my heart and my love and my strength and my hope to all the people who are out there fighting for the justices that we need to fight for. So Oak being a very powerful month, and we're at the tail end. We're going to be heading into the month of Holly soon. We had just passed the summer solstice, so we are already in the waning year. So we're heading to winter, we're heading to the colder months. So it's a time of harvest, it's a time of reaping what we've sowed in the past year. And yeah, so powerful stuff. Also today is a lunar eclipse, very powerful. Lunar eclipse, I believe, in Capricorn. So it's a lot about understanding the deeper phases of our emotional life. So keep that in mind. Now, straight to the runes and see what they have to say for the week ahead. Okay, makes a lot of sense. All right, so while I was casting, I saw this image of a red flower. I don't know which flower. Sadly, I'm not completely up to date in terms of understanding which flowers come up in my visions, but I saw one that was red, a deep, deep, deep red, which is significant. Red represents the color of the root chakra. Can tend to bleed into the sacral chakra with a deep orange. But when it comes to the root chakra, it's the chakra of security, of safety, of connecting to your body, of rooting to the earth. The red can also represent blood. It can represent vitality, life force energy, but it can also represent pain and trauma. Especially the red of Mars, which has gone into the sign of Aries. So a lot of power, energy, how we deal with frustration, how we deal with anger, how we approach all of the things that have happened to us in the past. So very relevant to the time at hand. Now, given what we see here in the runes, I feel to start with Manas first. So Manas is a very powerful rune. For those of you who have been a part of the channel, for those of you who have not, welcome, hi. So Manas is a strong rune. Manas represents the self. It represents mankind. It represents the deeper energies that reflect our intelligence, that reflect our ability to understand our emotional dispositions, our psychology. It can also represent connection to the higher self. But when it's in its reverse, it can represent cunning, maliciousness. It can represent the darker sides of humanity. So in this sense, what I'm seeing also in conjunction with this rune, because only 2 runes came out for this week. So we have Thurisas, which is Thor's rune. And Thor is the god of thunder and lightning, the god of storms in the Nordic tradition. And as you know, when it comes to storms, lightning and thunder and all that fun stuff, it's a lot about change, transformation. And this rune is referencing catharsis. It references the change and the subtle shifts in the strata of the soul that create those earthquakes that eventually relieve tension and relieve the pain that you've been suffering. But it does require a lot of sometimes difficult change to embrace. So I think the combination of these two are very powerful and very important, especially for the week ahead, and especially for the energies that I feel generally for this month of July. So it is a lot about how we connect to ourselves, how we connect to ourselves in our highest good, how we understand who we are, how we understand what we're doing in this life, what we came here to do. It also references that we're not alone, that we have a lot of help, that there's people who are willing to support us. And the Thurisas coming together with the Manas is really suggesting that it's time to take a step back and to do some really deep inner work. A lot of transformative work surrounding our past, surrounding the emotional relationships that we have fostered that may not have been beneficial to us, the ways in which we have created specific ideologies, perceptions, theories of being, ontologies and epistemologies, and all these various degrees of intellectual and emotional pursuits that weave themselves into the tapestry of what we perceive of as ourselves. It's time to find out what threads you have in there. Take the time to unravel them. Where does this emotional pain lead you to? Where does this particular situation, this memory that has come up, where does that come from? Why do you feel that way? If you have specific ideologies regarding, especially given what's going on in today's day and age, with the Black Lives Matter movement, as I have mentioned. So if there's any indication of subliminal racist thoughts or ways in which you have institutionalized within your own psyche and within your own mind the ways in which you may have prejudices against others, or how those prejudices may stem from your own emotional traumas. All of these smaller ways in which the threads that make our psyche come together, and how we don't really question it. The runes are suggesting that it's time to question them. It's time to ask yourselves these deeper questions and find out how to better relate. This is what I'm hearing. How to better relate to the world around you. How to better relate to our relations across the planet, whether human, tree, mountain, or sea. So I feel like this week, and especially this month, I'm feeling this is a very month energy. So I'll probably post it as a month reading, the month ahead. I feel like this is a lot about the self, a lot about how we relate to others, a lot about the catharsis that is available to us as we start to think about how we relate to others, and really banding together to support each other in the process of social, political, and emotional transformation. So, that is what the runes seem to be wanting to say for this week and for this month ahead. And I hope that all of you have a very blessed weekend, a very blessed time. Again, be gentle with yourselves during this process of emotional, social, political, and very deep transformations can sometimes bring out a lot in all of us. So please be gentle with yourselves. Please take time, especially Black, Indigenous, and people of color. I invite you to take the time to rest, to be present with yourselves in the ways that you can, to surround yourself with people who support you, who understand you, or who at the very least are able to listen with an open heart. I also invite you guys to join us next week with myself and my good friend Oak. You can find him at Christopher Oak, the K, on Instagram. It was their idea to have a gathering of the ancestors to bring people together, especially it's a specific space for BIPOC people, for Black, Indigenous, people of color. So you can reach out to him on Instagram and reach out to me at Instagram at River and Rune, and we both co-host this gathering of the ancestors together to create a silent meditative space over Zoom for Black, Indigenous, people of color to have a space of rest. And we'll be picking up again next week, so I invite you guys, if that's something that resonates with you, to come join us for the drumming circle and the meditation. So thank you guys for joining me on River and Rune this week. I'm very excited to get back into it and to share my gifts and to assist people in the ways that I can and to share my practice with you all. So thank you for coming, thank you for joining, and please stay safe. Please be gentle with yourselves, and I'll see you guys soon on River and Rune. All right? Bye everyone.